I sailed on 2 Fred Olsen cruise ships expecting almost exactly the same experience, but one thing completely surprised me, and it could change which ship you should book. Because while the service on both ships was genuinely excellent, the overall experience felt quite different. And this genuinely surprised me, because for me, the main reason was the food. If you're trying to decide between Borealis and Balmoral, I hope this video should make that choice a lot easier. I've sailed on both ships within weeks of each other, filmed full tours of each, and on paper they look very similar. Same cruise line, same style, same reputation. But once I was on board, they didn't feel the same at all. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly what's the same, what's different, and which one might be right for you. Let's start with what Fred Olsen does incredibly well, and that's the service. On both ships, the crew were consistently excellent, friendly, attentive, and most importantly, personal. This is where Fred Olsen really stands out compared to larger cruise lines. You're not just another passenger. The crew remember you, they chat to you, and it genuinely feels like they care about your experience. And honestly, we couldn't fault it on either ship. Bars, restaurants, cabin stewards, it was consistently high across the board. So, if you're choosing between Borealis and Balmoral based on service, don't, because in our experience, they're identical. But if that's the same, where does the difference come in? So, let's talk about the food and the choice of dining venues. I've got 2 videos on our channel giving you an in-depth guide to my experiences on both ships. So, after you've watched this, you may want to check those out to see why I draw the following conclusions. So, what is the same on both ships when it comes to the food? Both offer fixed dining rather than freedom dining. Both have classic structured 5-course dinner menus. Both offer food that is of good quality. So, where does it vary? Well, let's start with Balmoral. Balmoral feels like a very traditional cruise experience with its smaller 3 main dining rooms and intimate buffet area. The main dining rooms didn't feel quite as grand on here. There is only one specialty dining option, colours and tastes. If you like the predictable rhythm of the same place to eat each day at the same time, this can be perfect for you. It feels familiar, relaxed, traditional British cruising. But that also means the variety can feel a little limited at times. There is no large buffet to get a deli sandwich made at lunchtime, and no poolside grill offering a different venue for brunch or lunch. After a few days, it can start to feel a bit repetitive, and that's where Borealis feels different, because Borealis just seems to offer a greater variety of food and dining options. There's noticeably more choice. It offers more specialty dining options and also a poolside grill offering brunch and healthy lunch options, which I used a lot. This gives more flexibility and a slightly more modern approach to dining. The main dining room is larger and airier. I felt it was more of an occasion to eat in the main dining room of Borealis rather than Balmoral. The buffet is larger on Borealis, offering a greater variety of food and more options for lunchtime rather than a traditional cooked lunch. The food was also presented in a more appealing way on Borealis. Now, this all surprised me because I didn't expect this difference at all. I assumed the dining experience would be pretty much identical across both ships. But in reality, it sort of changed how the whole cruise felt. And this isn't about one being better than the other. It's about what kind of experience you want. Because Balmoral gives you that classic, smaller, structured cruise feel, whereas Borealis feels a bit more varied, a bit more flexible and slightly more modern. And that difference in the food actually reflects the overall feel of the ships. Balmoral feels traditional. It's smaller, a bit older, and has that classic cruise atmosphere throughout. It feels calm, familiar, and very British in its style. If you like that idea of cruising as it used to be, Balmoral really delivers that. The theatre is more like a large lounge on one level, and during my cruise there was a lot of dancing in here. Many of the bars and lounges felt quieter later in the evening. This felt like a ship that slept a bit more than Borealis. There was still a variety of activities taking place across the ship during the day and evening, but it just felt more sedate to me. The atrium on Balmoral felt slightly underwhelming and dark. It didn't feel like the central hub of the ship, rather more a staircase to access a different level. Borealis, on the other hand, feels more modern. The theatre is spread across 2 decks and feels like a space you would watch a theatre show, a larger venue offering tiered and balcony seating. The bars and lounges on Borealis felt busier with a bit more atmosphere. The atrium, although fairly small, felt majestic with the stunning custom-made clock tower. It's very much Fred Olsen, still intimate, still friendly, but with some more modern touches. The spaces feel a bit more open, the experience feels a bit more varied, and overall it just feels slightly more up to date. And again, neither of these is right or wrong, they're just different. But that difference does shape your entire cruise experience. There was an area, however, that I felt Balmoral really excelled in, and that was its outdoor space. This ship has a beautiful aft section with tiered decking. It has 2 good-sized swimming pools and 4 jacuzzis. We never had an issue getting a sunbed or chair, and we spent some time in the pools and jacuzzis, something we rarely do as most ships' facilities are packed. It has a lovely wraparound promenade deck to wander around, and we really enjoyed spending time outdoors on this ship. Borealis's outdoor space felt slightly smaller. There is only 1 pool and 2 jacuzzis. I didn't feel like there was as much space to explore outside. However, I sailed on Borealis to Norway in the autumn, and this did mean that the retractable roof was in place, so what would have been outside space was in fact inside due to the time of year. This did make me reflect and think that having this option does mean you can use the pool in poor weather conditions, so Borealis may be a ship to consider if sailing in cooler climates. So, which ship would I sail on again? Well, I would take the following things into account when deciding. Itinerary. Balmoral is a smaller ship, so we'll be able to travel to some ports that other larger cruise ships like Borealis can't access. This means you may be able to visit some smaller, more unique destinations that normally only boutique cruises would visit. Outdoor space. If you are sailing in colder climates and want to use the swimming pool, Borealis may be a better fit because of the retractable roof. It also has a spa area that you can use for an hour at an additional cost, giving you access to more wellbeing facilities. In warmer climates, Balmoral gives more swimming pools and jacuzzis. I enjoyed the bar areas and outdoor seating options on Balmoral more so than Borealis. Food options. For me, the biggest difference between both ships. If I was choosing purely on this factor, I would choose Borealis every time. So, in conclusion, which ship will I sail on again? Well, I would happily sail on either ship. I think it's how you adjust your expectations about the facilities offered. Each cruise and passenger will always have their own unique feel, and it is very much down to individual experience of your sailing. People will always experience things differently to others, so there is never a right or wrong decision or choice. The main thing is, whatever you decide to do, enjoy your experience and have fun.